Alright guys, when it comes to your resume, I really recommend that you get as much information as possible. Watch these other YouTube channels that give you career advice on how to write your resume. There's a ton of good information out there. However, there is one caveat that I need to warn you guys about, and that is it's coming from the perspective of a recruiter. A lot of these guys are the ones that make these types of videos, but they see resumes very different than, say, a hiring manager like myself. The truth is that recruiters are actually paid when they get a new candidate placed in a job. I'm sure you've heard it many times that recruiters takes 10 seconds, 6 seconds for them to skim your resume. I mean, is that really fair to you? I don't think so. Whereas a hiring manager is actually going to take the time to really look at your resume and really try to analyze it and see what is this person really going to bring to me? And is this person going to help me out, cost me more money, or actually create more problems? Today, I'm going to share with you what I look for in a resume so that you can optimize your resume for both the recruiter as well as the hiring manager. Stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Brian, also known as the One-on-One Mentor, where my goal is to help you guys create a life you're proud of. And in this channel, we tackle all the big buckets in life. And if you like today's video, if you like the content that we offer here, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be sharing about 7 things that I look for in a resume. And the first one is career growth, career progression. I want to see in your resume that you've moved yourself up that corporate ladder. You've moved from an assistant position to a specialist role to a supervisor or a lead role and up the chain. When I say progression, it doesn't have to be in the conventional sense of leadership, of being manager, director, executive. You can be very specialized in your role, but as long as you're showing progression, maybe you've taken on more scope or more technical expertise, that's exactly what I'm looking for. The second thing I want is the scope of your responsibilities. I want to know what you did. I want to get a sense of what you've done, what you've achieved. And it's really easy in this part to just use technical jargon or to match the keywords in the job description, but I'm really looking to understand exactly what you did. So if you're telling me that all you did was write up procedures, I want to know what kind of procedures you wrote up. If you executed a new program or a new process, tell me about it. I really want to understand what that is. And one really quick example in my industry is that some people say that they got XYZ certification. Tell me how you did it. What did you guys do? How many SOPs or procedures did you have to implement or put in place? Did you start from the ground up? Did you optimize it? Did you tweak it? And of course, you can't go into all this detail in a resume, but you really want to start painting that picture for someone like myself. The third thing that I'm looking for is leadership. Now, I understand in some roles, especially the more technical ones, you may not want to move up from a leadership standpoint. You want to stay with the project, get your hands dirty, the whole thing. I get that. However, what I want to see are leadership qualities from you. Are you able to mentor other people? Are you able to grow? Are you emotionally stable and able to take on a lot more pressure and a lot more stress? Are you able to hit tight deadlines? Are you able to learn a lot of complicated things in a really short amount of time? I want to get a sense of your leadership skills. How have you done that? How have you support or built a culture around you? I think a lot of people get stuck that you need to have a leadership title. That is not the case. When you talk about what you've done in your role, you can still represent or at least give the impression of leadership qualities. And I prefer that. At least now I know you may have that type of skill set or foundation that I can now tweak, mentor, coach into a leadership role. You know what the fourth one is? That is time. I want to know how long you've been in the job. Some people are jumping jobs left and right every 6 months, maybe less than a year, maybe every year they're moving it into a different corporation. I don't know if I like that because now I'm thinking maybe there's something wrong with you, or maybe you keep jumping ship because you just want higher pay or you just want a different title. I don't know if I have you for the long term, which is obviously an issue for me because I don't want to go through another search all over again. So it's really important to see how long you stayed in the company. As a general rule, at least 2 years per role. Longer is always better, but I understand now in this day and age, apparently it's okay to jump from one company to the next. I guess it's acceptable, but I'm going to tell you, I'd prefer not to because myself or other hiring managers don't want to keep seeing all this turnover. It's costly, it's time consuming. If you stayed long in a job, it means your boss likes you, your boss's boss likes you, the people around that you work with likes you. So time is important. That is definitely something I'm looking out for. Number 5 is skills. I want to know what skill sets you have. Yes, I could probably pick it out without reading your experience. However, if you want to just tell me, I'm okay with that as well. Whether you choose to talk about your skills in the experience section, or maybe you want to have a summary profile or just like bullet points of what your key skills are. If you got any certifications, if you got any sort of specific qualification or education, definitely highlight that. Bring that up. Put that into your experience. Put that up at the very top of your resume. Understanding your skills that you've learned, that you've developed is so important. Now, I know some of you guys probably think I'm against education in the sense of getting a master's. I've heard that feedback a lot, probably because of some of my other videos I've done around getting a master's degree, but I'm going to tell you, I do look at your education when it comes to your resume. I need to know what your foundation is. I mean, if you're coming from a food science background to an arts background to philosophy or to a microbiology, it doesn't matter. It just gives me some sort of context. It's not like I'm going to rule you out because you didn't have X, Y, or Z degree. I'm looking at your experience first and foremost, and the fact that you've intrigued me enough to look at the rest of your resume. Education is kind of like icing on the cake, and it also tells me one other thing, and that is that you've got the potential to learn complicated information, technical information, that you're willing to grow, take the time to study, maybe work on yourself, invest in yourself, take some courses. I'm okay with that. I want to know if you've got that potential. That's what I'm looking for when it comes to education. And of course, if you've already got the education, even better. The next thing that I noticed on your resume, and this one is really, really important to me because I think if you have this skill, it's going to really help elevate your career in the long term, and that is your ability to write, your ability to communicate. Probably the number one skill that all employers look for is your ability to communicate. And I want to see that professionalism, proper grammar, proper spelling on your resume. Do you find candidates with not so great English that can actually have a good resume, or sometimes they contract out their resume writing to some other firm? Now, what I would prefer to do in that case is actually look at the cover letter. If I can't tell what your writing skills are like on your resume, I'm going to look at your cover letter, and your cover letter is really going to give me a sense of your writing abilities. And this is probably one of the biggest skills that I watch out for in addition to your experience. Probably a little bit nervous when I said that because English might not be your first language. The reality is that writing is so important when it comes to presentations, when it comes to reports, when it comes to summaries, when it comes to email, which everyone uses every single day. So you know how important it is to communicate well. Understanding all of this is really what's going to separate you from all the other candidates out there. Now, if separating yourself from the competition of getting ahead of the other candidates is something that really resonates with you, then I highly recommend that you check out my other videos to help you do exactly that. Guys, remember, I also answer your career questions as well as other life questions. If you have a question you want me to answer, go to my website, 101mentoring.com, submit it to me directly. I'll answer it in a future video just like this one. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.